What's up, folks? Let's get this camera positioned correctly. Gotta go up a little bit. Let's try this. It's Tuesday, man. It's Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. We're gonna push out a quick live stream. What's going on, folks? I gotta get something real quick. Get this camera up a little higher. I decided to use the Galaxy Note. Yeah, I think that might look okay. Decided to use the Galaxy Note for the live stream, and my tripod isn't the tallest that I'm using. I'm using a little mini tripod. I didn't want to use this big tripod, so bear with me for a second while I adjust this. Should be okay. Oh, should do better. All right, man. You should see how this looks. I got stuff everywhere. I'm not the only one that has done that. Like, did a stream and like prop stuff up. What's going on? What's going on, folks? I got an appointment in a little while, so I decided to just go ahead and knock out a quick stream. All right, I think I got this positioned right. Man, I got stuff everywhere. All right, man. What's going on? Y'all enjoying y'all new iPhones? All right. I'm gonna get this chat open too. So LED or no LED, how's the audio? This is the front camera on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Decided to try a different device. How's the audio? How's the quality? How's it looking? LED or no LED? Let me know. LEDs. That's what it looks like with the LEDs. So let me know real fast, and we'll kick this thing off. No LEDs. Which ones? No LEDs. I gotta open it up on the other side and see how it looks. All right. Yes. No LEDs. Okay. Okay. Some people say LEDs. All right. I think the LEDs bring out the natural tone. At least that one over there is positioned in the right place. We'll try it both ways. I'll switch them on and off. Because when I'm looking, let me get the stream open. Because when I look at it, it doesn't look like the LEDs are that good. But I gotta get it up on this big screen here. Let's switch to the classic. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping by. I believe today's Tuesday. It is Tuesday, October 1st. So I wanted to fire up the Galaxy Note, give you a nice little stream. I got an appointment in a little bit, so I wanted to go ahead and just knock something out. I gotta tell you, side note, I do not like the new. I don't like the new Creator Studio. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, man. The navigation is a lot more difficult to deal with, man. It's the simple things. It's almost difficult for me to try to figure out what it is. All right, let me check the quality of the stream with the LEDs. All right, so you guys said no LEDs. Let's see how it looks with no LEDs. I think it looks better with the LEDs. I think the LEDs bring out kind of the natural look of the flow, at least from what I can see on the video here myself. It's okay. It's the front camera of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and YouTube is going to water it down anyway. You won't even get the real quality from there. But iPhone season, folks. iPhone season. Let me pop this chat open real quick. I can get it big enough to where I can see it and read it and keep up. So it's Tuesday, man. A little bit of a workflow stream. Tech Talking Tuesday. I don't know. I just be making up stuff as I go along. Ask me anything about this iPhone. Some of you guys, I went to the Apple store, man, to buy a few things. I'm taking off the banging. It's one of the best cases ever. I think that video's coming out, or it's not out yet. Should be out soon. But if you haven't seen the latest video on the skin upgrade, I've got the forged carbon, and I decided to put on the honeycomb because the honeycomb is such a nice skin. Anyway, iPhone 11 Pro Max first question I have for you guys. You can ask me anything about the phone, basically my experience and stuff like that. But first thing I got to say to you guys, a question for you guys. Do you really think it should be called Pro? What makes a phone a Pro? I honestly believe that the more along the lines of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, it probably should have been the Galaxy Note 10 Pro, because it does offer a little bit more features than the regular Galaxy Note 10. That's just my personal opinion. To put the word Pro behind a device is saying a lot, and I think the only thing is the only thing for the iPhone one thing I really enjoy about this is, and I think why they're pushing it up as a Pro, but they didn't really have to use the name Pro. They could have just said Max. But I think the fact that the cameras for video recording are so good, that's really good. Maybe that's why they try to use the term Pro, like, professional films and everything. I actually love the video recording of the iPhone 11, the Max version, and just all of the iPhone 11s for that matter. I like them all, man. I think they all have fantastic video cameras. Photos are questionable on every phone, just about, and video on some phones, but I think Apple has really done a great job, because I want to use this phone for a lot more than just video recording. But honestly, I saw a comment from somebody. They said, "Man, I told you you was going to say it was just another iPhone." I don't mean that in a derogatory way, though. I think iPhones have established themselves. I mean, look at how many people buy iPhones. As much as people want to try to insult the next person and say, "Oh, it's people who buy iPhones don't know about technology. People who buy iPhones, they think they're above everybody else." All those silly comments that you might hear people saying about people who use iPhones. Reality is, Apple has established themselves, and they have a great ecosystem, and they have a great phone. And I say phone because their phones are pretty much all the same. You're just buying a different size in memory, or you're buying a different look depending on what you bought. So they have a phone, so it's easier for them to compete in the market. Not a lot of consumers out there care about all these other features that in the bang for bucks. I've learned that about iPhone users too. I mean, I'm an iPhone user, just not a pro iPhone user, but I've learned to just talk when I'm around. When I have this phone, I was in the airport the other day, right? And everybody had an iPhone pretty much from what I could see. I was in this little area, and everybody was using an iPhone. And then, lo and behold, I have my iPhone and I'm using it too. And I'm looking at these people and I'm thinking, what do they think is so great about the phone? But I think that's the wrong question to ask. The real question should be, what makes this phone a phone that people are so comfortable to use, and what makes it their life? What about the iPhones make people's lives easier? You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes it more efficient for them? Why is this phone so efficient for most people? Because companies have switched to using iPhones. They can say it's for security. I don't think so. Because if someone wants to get into something, they're going to get into it. Period. You can't stop. If it's man-made, there's always a back door. And that's just how it goes. There's going to be a back door. You can't lock it down to where, whatever. But I've learned that a lot of people who have faithfully used an iPhone that have never used an Android phone faithfully, like continuously through, they don't understand, or they don't really care, or it just doesn't matter to them that the Galaxy Note 10 Plus or the Pixel 4, the Pixel 3, those phones have more features. Most people just want something that is just going to be good to them. And there are Android users out there like that too. Android users pick up phones, but I think the tech world is what, like Biggie and Tupac. Everybody else is instigating these arguments, and the people in the midst of it really don't even care. They're not even focusing on it. So I saw iJustine one time, and she made a comment about, "I don't care about you guys arguing in the comments. I'm not even reading your comments." Now, to a certain extent, I agree with her, but then to another point, I don't agree, because I think you should definitely read your users' comments, because as many people that are following her and listening to her and buying things because of her, she owes them enough to at least read the. I'm not picking on iJustine. Obviously, I think she's cool for what she does. She's a hype beast, but for Apple, but it is what it is. I like her content sometimes for Apple, but I think that to her point about not looking at the customers, you got to read the comments in your videos to see who's watching you and what appeals to them, or it's just a part of YouTube, in my opinion. But the iPhone itself, I think these are great phones. The reason I get bored with them is because I'm so used to being able to really multitask, like the simplest things. Uh, I asked you why you thought if this should have the title Pro. Here's one reason why I feel like this phone should not have the title Pro, and this is from a creative standpoint. When I'm working inside of the YouTube Creator app, I'm working inside of this app right here. All right. When I'm working inside of this app, there are things that I want to do. I want to do the simple things like cut and paste tags from another video that's pertaining to that same video, that same item. In iOS, not happening. Something as simple as that, not happening. Android, I can do pretty much everything. I can do everything within that Creator app. Literally, I can do that's one of the main things that I don't like doing as a creator is typing out my tags on every video. So if I have an iPhone video, I'll have to type. If I'm using an iPhone, I got to type out all the tags. But if I'm on an Android phone, I can cut and paste all those tags and drop it right in, especially if it's pertaining to the same thing. That's a creator's standpoint. And that's the reason why I think this phone should not have a Pro title. But, there's a ton of other reasons why it possibly could have a Pro title. And I think it's crazy that Samsung just flat out said this is for creators, and Apple kind of didn't. They just said this is the phone, this is the person who wants more. But pretty much I think they were kind of gearing it towards creators. But as far as multitasking goes, when I asked you earlier, do you think this phone should have the Pro title? I don't think it should have the Pro title for another reason, as far as the basic things like picture in picture. Now, to those that might be quick to defend, you can't say that this phone can't do picture in picture, because it very well can, because the iPads are great at picture in picture. I mean, they have it. It's just a simple swipe and boom, you got picture in picture. You can resize it, move it all around. Multitasking on a phone is something that more people do than you might think. Split screen, I've seen people say that split screen is pointless and worthless. Those are probably people who have never used it. There was a comment in one of the iPhone videos recently that said, and unfortunately I had to delete this comment, just keeping it 100. If you use profanity in the comments section, I just delete your comment, because I'm monitoring the comments I'm reading. I want to make sure it's a pretty chill place to argue about tech. That's ultimately what it is. I want you guys to battle it out in the comments about tech. But the person had a very valid point. But like I said, unfortunately, I deleted that comment because there was so much profanity in it. But the person pretty much said, you guys should stop looking at the content creators as they're doing everything that they say. It was on an iPhone. It was on my latest iPhone video. There are some people that are salty about me saying that the Galaxy Note took better low light photos than the iPhone, and then all these experts come out. And one thing that the person said that I think was very strong, and he or she said that the content creators have way more phones than you have. You only have one phone, and which is why you're in your feelings about pretty much arguing that this phone is the best. Yeah. So I agree with that person. But like I said, unfortunately, there was profanity in there, so gotta go. So, if you comment on the videos, just make your point without profanity, and your comments will always be there. But I agree with that person. I think people who watch YouTube videos more than likely only has 1 to 3 phones, possibly 1 to 3 phones. The majority of the people don't have 50 to 100 phones laying around, and they don't get to experience all the stuff that that content creators do. Yeah. So I like that in comments. When I like that in comments, and I don't claim to be this, I know it all about phones, but I like when I see in comments, you can always tell when a person is sold on something or they feel like it is the best. And unfortunately, what iPhone users, sometimes they feel like it's the best, and it has a lot of strong points. I buy every iPhone, and this phone is no exception. It's a great phone. I'm still using it, as a daily, because I'm in my review phase. Will I continue to use this as a daily? Probably not. I don't think I could use this for 2 weeks straight. So, Eric, what's going on, man? Eric and somebody got yeah. You're in the content creator side, bro. You're in the content creator side, but I think with consumers, when people say like that, like I was talking about that person who was talking about this phone, saying, you really shouldn't get so involved in what the creators are saying because they have way more than you have, and you're just kind of indirectly living vicariously through them. If it was so easy to be where I'm at, to do what I do, YouTube will be flooded. But it's not easy. It's not easy to buy all these phones, put out content, and give your opinion because ultimately, folks, what it is, again, that example of my last video, the last video, iPhone versus Galaxy Note 10 Plus. If you're just joining in, this is the front camera of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. iPhone versus Galaxy Note 10 Plus on my little mini vacation. I compared low light. So many people chimed in immediately saying, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. The iPhone is better. But I look at those people as all they have is the iPhone. That's all they love. They're not being open-minded. And yeah, I'm reading the chat, but if you're gonna be silly, I'll boot you out. How about that, Danny? I can see your comments, but this is my stream, so I'm trying to get information out to people. Don't be so selfish and think that I'm supposed to just acknowledge you. But you know what? There's your attention. I gave you your attention. I also saw your comments on that video. So don't think that, you clowning a little bit. You trying to make it seem like, you know more than the OP when you don't. Because if you did, you'd have a YouTube channel. I hate to blast people like that, but don't start feeling yourself too much because this is the internet. I can see your comment and I can see your comment on the YouTube channel because I'm one of the few YouTubers I'm just a regular guy who loves tech. And I actually read my comments. I hate to do that to people, like, and put people on blast, but don't be in the comments trying to front like, you know it all and I'm ignoring you and all this other stuff, Just put that aside. See, now you're acting like I'm mad. That's what I was talking about you on social media. You know what I'm saying? It's clowns like this who he's the one who's salty. But since me, the OP, I've learned this about YouTube. Let's sidestep for a second. I've learned this about YouTube because honestly, folks, I'm one of the realest cats that you will see on YouTube. If you see me in person, this is what it's going to be. So YouTube is a fun thing for me, but don't get it twisted, son. You see clowns like this, and I'm calling you a clown at this point because that's what you're acting like. If you see people like this totally jumping on somewhere who's just trying to get everybody to look at them, that's what this guy's doing. Then when I give you some attention, then you say I'm getting mad. I'm from Jersey. You don't know what it's like. You got to just realize, this is the internet. This is why I try to avoid certain things on the internet because you young cats get to clowning like that, man, and you taking advantage of the internet. Stop that, son. Stay in your place and stay in your lane. If you want to keep it about tech, keep it about tech. All that other side chatter, stop that. I don't like to get on here and I don't like to get on here and show another side, but you young cats get on it, you get in your feelings and start trying to run your gums and stuff and start acting like, the internet is, I can say whatever I want to say. I don't care if you ask a question. I saw your question. That's it. Let me keep this thing civil because I got an appointment in a little bit. So I'm not trying to be fired up before I get an appointment, but this is why I don't like people over the internet, son. You get to running your mouth and stuff like that, and you sometimes throw me off tilt. I'm human. I love Jesus and everything, but I'm human, son. So don't try to push my buttons on the internet. I don't appreciate it. That's why I try to avoid you clowns online because y'all start running your mouth and you start thinking it is what it is. Just keep it. Y'all young cats, keep that civil, son. I'm not even going to boot you out the stream. Just stay there and hush. Just hush. Be quiet and watch because you ain't making no valid points anyway. Serious. Anyway, my bad, folks. My bad. I ain't had my coffee yet. I'm headed to my appointment. Man. All right, anyway. So, the last video that I just put up was iPhone low light versus Galaxy Note. And in that video, I just took photos. But I like that the difference between Android users and iOS users is sometimes it tilts both ways. It tilts both ways. Android users sometimes pick on Apple users and they just slam them. But I've learned that Apple users, the stereotypes between users is kind of true, if you will, because it seems like people who buy these phones defend everything about what Apple says in the keynotes. I don't know what it is. I think it's crazy that this particular device, I like it a lot, but I don't love it. And that's why I say it's just another phone from Apple. I've been using this straight through. When I do a review, you can't really review a phone. I don't think you can review a phone. You could do an iPhone video, right? You could do an iPhone review, and it could really be, you know, it could really be a week. Honestly, it really could be a week. But I don't do that, man. I was my wife. I was telling her. She said, I know you don't really look like you like that iPhone. I know you want to put your SIM card back in your Galaxy Note. I was like, man, even though you guys can't see it, I'm not gonna do it because that wouldn't be a fair review for this phone. But honestly, man, I really could review this phone and be done with it in about a week because it's so much the same. And again, that's not really a bad thing, but at the same time, it's I'm not gonna say it's boring because to me, I told you guys before, I said buy the iPhone 11. That's the one to buy. I got one, and then I went back and bought this one because I got jacked for that one. But but I wanted the green ones anyway. So I think when you're watching these videos from YouTubers, you really have to consider one thing. You have to consider it's just that person's opinion. And I think some YouTubers don't do that. I do that. I try to reiterate that it's just my opinion. That's all. That's all I try to do is tell you it's my opinion, and you feel how you want to feel. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with your opinion, but in a respectful manner. This is just my opinion. Let me get to some of you guys' comments, man. Post your questions down below. Ask me anything. I got a little bit of time for my appointments. So I just want to do a real quick impromptu stream real quick. So post your questions down. There's a lot of comments in here that I missed. But let me see. Jay, could you please tell me what happened to where you could clip the video and save as a new clip? Seems like you're not able to do that any longer on iOS 13. Whoa, I didn't know that. I didn't know that yet because what I've been doing is, and that was from flipped it over. I've been basically transferring everything to the Mac. Yeah. All phone brands have their diehard bases. Yeah, that's true. That's true. What exactly do you expect them to add? All phones have peaked. I don't think phones have peaked when it comes to innovation, and I don't think Android phones are gimmicky. How is it that split screen is a gimmick? I'm trying to figure that out. I think the real gimmick and the real truth is that Apple can do it. They choose not to because they have it on their iPads, and it's totally doable. Yeah, it's totally doable. It's doable. You can do split screen. Split screen is a beast mode feature, and I think a lot of people who say that it's useless hasn't really used it enough to appreciate it. Especially when you use an iPhone, like you're coming from an Android phone, or you use both, you will switch back to an Android phone to get some things done. Yeah, you'll get back to it. Oh, Richard asked me to buy that truck, man. A few months ago. Yeah, no, the house came first, man. I talked about that in that last vlog. He's talking about my other YouTube channel. Hit that last video, man. I'll talk about that. iPhone 11 or 10R coming from a 6S, I would say just go ahead and get the 10R if you want to save some money. But if you just want the extra camera, and the quote-unquote faster processor, yeah. Spirit one, I'm looking for your questions. Post your comments down here, man. Do you think the S10 Plus takes better photos than the Note 10 or Max? I don't know. I have to put them all side by side, man. They all take great photos. You can't save it as a new clip from Flip. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I didn't really pay attention to that. If you're using split screen, you're not using the keyboard, right? Oh, man. But why, the first question I asked about this phone is, do you guys think it deserves the title of Pro? That's a yes or a no. for those that actually have it. If you don't have it, you really can't give too much insight on it. Yeah, but do you guys think this phone deserves the title of Pro? Samsung Galaxy Fold or 11 or the 11 Pro? I mean, that depends on what you want. If you want a big screen, more along the lines of Note 10 Plus or a Galaxy Fold or some other phone with a huge screen on it like that. How does the new iPhone handle little kids that move around a lot? Grandkids haven't been by and picked this one up yet, so I have to let you know this weekend. Here's a nice question from Edward Cardenas. What is better, True Tone on or off? It's not about which one is better, it's one about what you prefer. And I keep True Tone off. I don't like the way the phone looks with True Tone. Is this my main phone? Yeah, right now my primary SIM card is in here. I don't look at dynamic range on phones. I'm not a photographer. I just take the photos in auto mode and put them up. I have the 10, the 10R, the Pixel 3 XL, probably keeping them for a long time. Yeah, the 3 XL, definitely don't get rid of that one, man, because that phone is, whew, yeah. Which display is better? 11. I already got a video up on that, Danny Cardwell. I think the Galaxy Note 10 display is better. The Plus is, but way better. Way better. Okay, so here's a comment from Victor0328. Sorry, was looking at the app. For example, a music app, like whatever that thing is that he's typing. I know Android doesn't do well with music making apps. Well, see, that's not Android. That's the developers. We don't know what I think the developers are well taken care of when it comes to Apple, and you can tell with just the apps that are out. Apps on Android pretty much seem, or on iOS, seem a little bit more polished. So, but that's the developer's fault. You know, if the developers, not fault, but, you know, the developers might be getting more incentive to produce stuff at a higher quality for Apple. iOS, I mean, that's totally possible. Because if you remember WebOS, it's way more polished than the iPhones, you know. So I think it's a matter of the developers getting behind something, and for some reason, for some things, I agree but disagree a little bit. The developers are responsible for making a polished, good app. Because there are plenty of things, some things like some of the Google apps look better and work better on Android. That's weird. That's strange. Yeah, it's very strange. Jay, what do you think about the skin around the camera? I have the same skin. I think it needs to be thicker. You're talking about this one right here. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of thin. It was kind of thin around there. So, but I just heated up a little bit because I put out that video. I heated up, and you know, it's good. It's not going to come off or anything. But I know what you're talking about. It's not as, it doesn't feel as thick as the actual this part of the skin because of those big holes. It's the same material. It's just that those holes are, the camera holes are so big. You know, you honestly are gonna, you know, it's gonna feel that way. Man, I get 1,000 messages when I get on the stream. Let me see. No, it's not a pro. It needs pro level iOS like iPad. Man, Gary, I couldn't agree more. If it had a Type C, you think about the things that Apple. Oh my goodness, man. Man. Golly. I've never gotten so many messages. It's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, you think about all the things that they could have done with this Pro model. Man, I don't think they should have jumped out and put the Pro title. And I'm not the only one that's saying that. Because they're charging a Pro price though, right? They're charging a Pro price. But that Pro thing, yeah. Oh, I also agree with what T just said. RAM doesn't matter on an iPhone. Yeah, he's right. RAM doesn't matter on an iPhone because of the way iOS is controlled. You don't have 30 things. You don't have 30 things running in the background like you do with Android. So, oh my gosh. Sorry. Yeah, RAM really doesn't matter with an iPhone. It matters, but it doesn't matter like it does on Android. That's a better way I would say that. I would say that it matters because you need the resources. However, I would definitely say that RAM doesn't matter as much on iOS because of how nicely iOS is situated on their hardware. I love it. I love the fluidity of how, Android or iOS works together. There's just things about iOS that, unfortunately, it just kind of works. Okay, so here's a statement from Ben. The thing with the Pro versus the normal 11 battery life is massively different, it seems. Having both, I'm not going to say it's massively different. What's great about this battery life is that because both of the phones go all day, I don't think they're massively different though. I wouldn't go that far. That's just my opinion. I respect yours, but I don't think having both. I don't think they're massively different in battery. I don't. So yeah, but they both have great battery life. But the Pro, it has to be something better than, because here's where Apple messed up, because Apple made a mistake. The Pro model, okay, so the lesser model, the 11, needed to have not been so close to the Pro model, right? They took away the telephoto lens, and then gave it to the big version, the Max version. And then what else is so different? So it doesn't have a fast charger in the box. It's like the little things that they tried to sneak under the table as though it's a lesser model, but in reality, I don't think that they even want you to buy this model. I think they want you to buy the 11 because the 11 is the one that the 10R was their top seller. The 11 is going to be their top seller. That's just how it's going to be. You might see some studies saying, oh my gosh, the 11 isn't selling. No, that 11 is doing well. I've been out in the wild and seen people with the 11. The crazy colors seem to be the favorites too, like the yellow and the green and the purple. Those seem to be, the favorites. But let me see if you can open. Why are features like FaceTime and iMessage downplayed as not Pro features? The reason you can't, hey John, what's up, John? I don't think that iMessenger and FaceTime are Pro features because they've been out forever. They've been out forever. So it's nothing unique to the Pro model. Every iPhone has iMessenger. And like I was going to say, that's what Apple did. They messed up by making the 11 such a good phone. They made the 11 such a great phone. Why would you buy this model? Think about that. Why would I buy the Pro model when I can just buy the 11? The only thing I'm missing is a telephoto lens, a little bit bigger screen, a higher resolution. I don't think that. I think they kind of kicked themselves in the foot, if you will, by making the 11 so good. Yeah, I mean the 11 is that good. Let me tilt this a bit. The 11 is that good. FaceTime and iMessenger are some of the most sought after types of things that Android users want. You know what I'm saying? So and here's the thing is, though, I've been using what Google has given me, which is Duo. Duo is actually really boss, folks. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I clown Duo. Back in the day, I clowned Duo. But Duo is actually really good, folks. It's actually really, and people use the term, it's not that bad. It's actually not bad at all. Messaging on it is fast. Video is sweet. You can do a little preview. You can, I video chatted with Messenger or Duo, and, it's actually really, really good, man. It's actually good. I can't complain about it. I don't think, the reason it doesn't get as much credit is because of all the inconsistencies with Android. Google is inconsistent with the way they push their products out. Since Google is open source, there's so many things you can put Android on, which is a bad thing, in a sense. That's why I think they should lock down the Pixels and let the other OEMs do what they want. The Pixels need to be exclusive Google devices, just like these Apple phones are pretty much all Apple. Google needs something to lock away the key and offer things. to people who have pixels. And iOS wins with that FaceTime and iMessenger. Yeah, they win. So, Apple kind of bumped themselves up against the head because of what's going on, Tommy Kelly, what's going on? They bumped themselves against the head by making the iPhone 11 so good. That's a problem. That's why you really can't tell a person, oh, the Pro is way better than the regular 11, because it's technically not. I bet you've seen a ton of videos from YouTubers saying that the 11 is a smart purchase or the one you should buy. I'm sure you have. I would argue that the telephoto does make it a pro device simply because the 11 is the everyman's device. Most consumers won't care about the telephoto, but professionals will make it use of the odd telephoto lens. I think it needs to be more, and taking Mike Christian's love, I think it needs to be more than, okay, so here's another question. If you think, the first question I asked was, should it be titled the Pro? If you think it should be titled a Pro, what makes the iPhone 11 Pro Max or the iPhone 11 Pro pros over not just iPhones, phones, period? What makes the iPhone 11 Pro a better phone and get the Pro title over the Note 10 Plus? Go. I want to hear it. What makes this phone a more pro phone over the Note 10 Plus? I gotta know. Because I've already compared them. In my opinion, there's no way that the iPhone 11 Pro is a pro over the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And I use that phone because I'm just chilling using that phone right now to stream. But what makes so someone said the video cameras, but the Note 10's video cameras are great. They just have, because there are people that'll say that the Note 10's video cameras are better than the iPhone, and there are people that say the iPhone is better than the Note 10. I prefer the video cameras on the 11 Pro Max, but I don't think that makes it a pro over the Note 10 Plus. So I'm thinking of, I'm not trying to I'm just throwing it out there, but I'm reading some of your comments now. So I'm looking for some people are saying nothing. But what makes the OnePlus Pro, we can do the same on other brands. Oh, I guess he might be talking to somebody else in the comments. I guess he might be. So somebody said the video camera, and some people say nothing. Some people say I can't argue. Taking much, I can't argue that. No iPhone is a pro. Note Plus is overly pro. Android in general is more pro than iPhones. Wow, you know what, Prince Revolver? I got to give you credit for that comment. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. And, and I don't think he's saying that in a derogatory way either. You think about just the basic multitasking that you can do on an iPhone, on an Android. Most Android phones have the simple thing like picture in picture. That's not like a pro feature, but you can't argue that. You can't argue that. Yeah. So Danny says better battery, better display. These are all subjective, so I'm just reading what he's saying. Better display. All Note 10s are 1080p out of the box and lose the smaller device on the higher resolution. All Samsung panels are so oversaturated, it's disgusting. 4K 60 frames per second, all cameras. That's his opinion, folks. That's what he feels. I think that's way off, but hey, that's what it is. Especially the better display thing and better battery. Yeah, the iPhone does have great battery, but I'm trying to figure. You're calling out your opinion. I appreciate that, but those don't make it a pro over the Galaxy Note 10 or any other Android phone. What makes it a pro? Better battery is subjective too, because some users might not be getting the best battery. And as far as the display goes, that's unquestionably the Note has the better display. And as far as it being 1080p out of the box, well, we can adjust our resolution. That's a pro feature. You can't do that on an iPhone. Just saying. If you can adjust the resolution on an iPhone, show me where. But I would say that's a pro feature on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. No? Yeah. That's my workout. I'll get to you in a little bit. iPhone cannot be pro. The users can't even decide. Another thing about iPhone that doesn't make it a pro is you can't even adjust the settings from within the camera. You gotta leave the camera app, go into the settings, adjust them, and then come back. Just saying. It sounds like Danny is in love with the iPhone. I appreciate you. I respect that you like the iPhone. I have it. I have tons of phones. And the iPhones are great phones. And this isn't a stream to bash the iPhone. Just kind of stating the obvious. Everyone gets their opinion. You get an opinion. Yeah. Let's see. T says everybody's being petty when it comes to the iPhone. Elaborate, T. I got to know. I guess it's a conversation going on in the chat because this chat is going fast for me. But who constantly changes the screen red on the Note? Come on now, Jay. Who's constantly changing the screen red on the Note? I don't know. Maybe I missed something. I missed something. Tell me more, T. Oh, the resolution. Oh, no, that's not being petty. He just said, I'm responding to Danny. Come on, T. Now, you got to be fair as fair. Nobody constantly changes it. However, it's an option. That's not being petty. I asked what makes it a pro. Respectfully, I respect your comment, but no one constantly changes it, but being able to do it. I would say if the iPhone could do it, everyone would say, oh my God, that's magical. I mean, they would, T. I'm not in a disagreement. I'm just saying, think about it from this side and this side. I understand what you're saying, but if Apple were to get on stage and say, you can now change your resolution, woo! Everybody would go crazy, woo! But they didn't, because you can't. So, just saying. If Apple were to get on stage and say that, everybody would go crazy and be like, oh my God, I can drop this down and save battery. Battery life is increased by 10 hours if you drop it down to our exclusive power saving mode, only on iOS 14. Everybody will go crazy. Everybody would say it's the most magical thing ever. So again, I want to know what makes it a pro over other phones. Just throwing it out there. I'm not going to review the V50. I don't want to review the V50. I have never in my life, maybe it's because I got an appointment coming up, I've never gotten so many messages or notifications on a stream while streaming. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. Some of these are very important too, so can't just ignore them. Stream comes second, folks. Sorry. But yeah, man, everyone will go crazy if Apple said iPhone 11 Pro and Max have a pencil support. Now that actually would be nice. That would have been something that made it a pro. Is to say it had pen support, because I think a lot of us were waiting for pen support. A lot of us, when you were watching that event, everybody was kind of waiting for him to say it was going to be a bonus item or something. We all were waiting for that. We were waiting for it. I mean, come on, let's be honest. If you're being real with yourself, you were waiting. If you lie, I'm just going to go back to your social media feed because I can see what you typed on. Everybody was pretty much waiting for them to say, oh, man. Everybody was waiting on it. I'm reading your comments here. Why doesn't Apple make the standard 128 and not 64? Again, that's a valid point. Ditch the Lightning port. I think the reason they won't ditch the Lightning port just yet because of all the money they're making off of the third-party deal. Yeah. But still, when you think about the consumers, they're not thinking about the consumers. They have a 64 gig base model on the phones, and they still don't have a Type-C support across the board. That's a valid point that he made there. That's from Ben again. Yeah. I look forward to the iPhone announcements too, man, to see what's coming. I think in October, Desmond, I think Desmond will be correct. He says Danny just hates everything that's not Apple. That's fine. Everybody gets a preference. I appreciate Danny coming through. As long as Danny stay in his lane, me and him going to be all right. I appreciate you, Danny. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I respect people's opinions, man. As long as they're respectful when they're saying it, we all good. Um, Everybody's interpretation of a pro is different. If someone just knows nothing about iPhones, then they're pro. You absolutely right. Absolutely right. That's a good point from Frager Hoskin. And it's all about the way a person interprets it. So there's really no wrong answer. Even this guy Danny who's talking, he's not wrong. He's not wrong because that's just his opinion. So we have to respect his opinion. Yeah, I respect it. You know, I don't have nothing personal against this guy. I mean, his opinion, so we gotta respect it. Like everybody else's opinion in here of something is their opinion. When videos come out, when T does case videos, he'll say something is great, and I might disagree. But so you're supposed to. If we all agreed with everything, um, we. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. My bad, Danny. I accidentally hit the wrong button. Danny said he subscribes to my channel for opinions. Yeah. But if when people bring out things, if we all agreed and said everything was great together, where would we be? We would be lost. If nobody ever put out any kind of different opinions, we would be lost. We would be lost. Even down to this tech field, man. Down to this tech stuff. It would be lost. It would be a bad deal. So I'm glad that you have a certain group of people who love Apple the way they do, and the group of people who love Android the way they do. But we got to find a way to exist in the same area without being so crazy towards each other. Because I think, like I said earlier, the reality is most people look at reviewers, and they might not want to say it, but you live vicariously through reviewers. You don't have 500 phones laying on your desk. You don't have all these gadgets coming in left and right. You're not doing the reviews. So your opinions are only based on what you have in front of you. And if you only have one phone or two phones in front of you, that's what your argument is going to be off of. I suggest that to people who watch content creators, I really suggest that you don't waste your time trying to argue with the content creator about what they've put out. Give your opinion and keep it moving. Simple as that. I mean, there's nothing else you can really do because some content creators get the edge up because, they have a larger following. So people tend to think that they are right. That is so strange how they relate numbers. They relate having 1 million followers to a person that's having 200 as right and wrong. It's amazing how that happens. Read my latest post on Twitter, and it goes something like this. If you haven't seen it. If you're not following me on Twitter, Mr. J.O. Williams. I said this right here. Say something that could be considered negative or rude, people get excited to reply. Now, mind you, I'm not exempt from anything. Say something that will challenge the mind, or is not like others, people attack you. Think for yourself, people will say you're wrong. I mean, when you're on YouTube and you're not saying what everybody else is saying, you can kind of see it in your comment section, like, oh, well, Floss said this, so that must mean it's good. Or MKBHD said this, and so that's what you need to be doing. I honestly get these types of comments. I'm thinking, wow, this is the silliest thing ever. So you're telling me I'm not allowed to stay over here because this is where I feel like I'm comfortable at, or I belong over here. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate Super Chat, J Mills. Yeah, I'm having a good day. I got an appointment, man. I got to get my coffee and everything, and be good to go. Samsung users talk a lot of smack about Apple users. I don't disagree. Yeah, I said that earlier. I totally agree. There's this fence that goes back and forth about, instead of trying to coexist and see where the OEMs are winning, they'll keep these groups of people going back and forth at each other, and they'll keep buying the products. They just keep selling you everything, keep buying everything, keep buying everything, keep buying everything, to keep you unaware and uneducated of what you should be focusing on, which is getting the lowest price for the best tech. We've seen it happen a bunch of times. When a product isn't supported, they have fire sales. Even though that product may be a great product, they'll have a fire sale, and then the price goes down and everybody jumps out there. Remember that WebOS tablet that came out a while back that dropped to $99? Nobody wanted to buy it at the full cost. You could put Android on it. You remember what happened? It was lines and lines of places in Best Buy and everywhere was selling out for 99 bucks. Everybody remembers that WebOS tablet. Everybody remembers it because everybody said it was garbage, but then as soon as it dropped to 99 bucks, everybody went out and bought. They had to stop people from buying more than one. I remember standing in line at Best Buy, and it was like you can only buy one. It was a line. It was a bigger line for that than you see with these Apple stores. If you remember that, yeah, it's called the HTTP touchpad. If you remember that, it was lines and lines and lines of places bigger than you'll ever see in any Apple store. Now, why is that? What are we doing different now than we did back then? All you have to do is not buy it. But here's the difference, though. Now, OEMs have gotten smart. They've got what they call influencers. So they put them on the ground level to influence you to keep buying stuff. You look at new phones, but if you're wanting cheaper phones, bargains, and just note both are still awesome, cheap now. Yeah, they definitely are. Android allows other developers to develop their UI scan. Finally, I got notification. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube notifications, folks. I have no idea what's going on with it, man. Yeah, the HP touchpad was a great tablet. Just like WebOS, all those products were great. They didn't get any of the hype and the support that they could have gotten from development. But they tapered off, man, and then they had to sell those things on a fire sale. Maybe that was their. You ever thought about this? Think about this. Also, never believe what you see at first. You ever thought that sometimes they do this intentionally just to make money? And try to convince us that they're losing money? So, example, let's just stay with the touchpad. What if they did that intentionally? What if they jacked that price up really high like that, no one wouldn't buy? And then, because it's a form of control, and then they say, we'll convince them that it's a fire sale, and we're just going to go ahead and sell it for 99 bucks, which was our original price to sell it, because it only cost us 49 to make it. We double our profits. You ever thought about that? Tony P, man. Yeah, Tony P, man. A lot of people didn't get the notification. I'm not surprised, man, that people didn't get the notification. This is what happens, man. So, Apple, Tony, if you missed it, so many people just coming in. I've only asked 2 questions. Does this phone deserve the title of Pro? And then also, what makes it a Pro over other Android phones like the Note 10 Plus? Kind of a mixed bag. Lots of opinions being thrown around, which are good. But if you want to take a stab at those questions, because my appointment's coming up in just a little bit, I got to hit the highway. But if you want to take a stab at that, I'm definitely going to wait around to hear what you have to say because I'm curious to why a person. But there's also been a lot of people that have made some very strong points in here, man. Yeah, the G8 on eBay for $250. Man, I appreciate the super chat, Malik. That's a fantastic deal. That right there is a better deal than a ton of iPhones out there. I mean, I got a G8 though, so, and I paid $620. If I would have waited, of course, but I wanted this red color, so we're good to go. I think Apple's great at their marketing. I've never knocked. The reason they're good at their marketing is because look at how well they've established. And I said that at the beginning of the stream. They've established themselves to get to where it's okay, to like an iPhone. But we, as consumers, have fallen for the plunge of we're going to defend this product. Night Tech, you lost me. You think them throwing a year of free Apple TV for 1 year was a swerve? People buying it? I totally agree. Because see, what'll happen is most consumers will sign up for something and they'll forget that they signed up for it. And a year is a long time, but you can rest assured they're going to ask for a credit card more than likely. And I'll put my credit card in there. It won't be charged. You got to be thinking of reading the underlying stuff. I'm going to be looking for it before I do put my credit card in there. But it's already a credit card on file, but I'm going to be looking for the underlying. Most people might forget that they signed up for that, and a year is going to go by fast. It's going to go by really fast. I think it was a little, let's make you look over here. We know these phones aren't going to sell that well, because when have you known Apple to give away something? Never. And even now, they're giving away something that you have to buy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a catch-22, like you said. Yeah. What do you think about the Galaxy Fold? Whole nother stream. I think of the free years to get analysts from people want. True, that's correct. Michael will be right on point. That is one of the reasons. The analytics mean a lot to Apple. Because remember, they talk about numbers a lot. They don't want to show their numbers, but they talk about them a lot. I personally just like Netflix and Pluto TV and yeah. I wonder well, YouTube's notifications are never going to be on point properly, man. The reason that'll be a mistake, okay, so this person, I kind of don't, I'm just going to keep it 100. I kind of believe you, but I don't believe what you're saying. You have a Note 10 Plus and you're having battery issues. What kind of battery issues? I'm not saying you're lying. You're thinking about switching to the 11 Pro Max for battery. The reason that I think that will be a mistake is because you're a Samsung user. If you have a Galaxy Note 10 Plus, first of all, is that your first Galaxy Note 10 Plus? Because I haven't heard of anybody, it's totally possible. I haven't heard of anybody having issues with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus battery. Not one, but I don't know everything. And if you're thinking about switching platforms and devices, that's a huge jump to go from a Galaxy Note 10 Plus down to an iPhone 11 Pro Max. So I'm going to need a little bit more information on that. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just kind of don't believe what you're saying. Elaborate on that. Yeah. Yeah, because the Note 10 Plus is killer. Yeah. Rogue app is probably causing battery drain. I had to go through my apps to find it. Really bad. Yeah, because a lot of cases, when people say battery issues, that's a vague statement. Yeah, that's a vague statement. I haven't had any, no issues with battery. On the Note 10 Plus battery is fantastic, but everybody's battery is going to be different. But one thing we can agree on is that out of 100 people, 99 are probably saying that the Note 10 battery is boss. I gotta hit the highway. So I appreciate all of you people taking the time out. And before I get out of here, I'm a real man, so I'm not afraid to express myself. At the beginning of the stream, for those that are jumped in, I got off tilt a little bit, So this guy Danny in here, I didn't even boot him out. Got off. I hadn't had my coffee yet though, for real. I haven't taken my medicine. I gotta go to my doctor's appointment, so got a little off tilt. So excuse me for being off tilt a little bit. Just when you come in here, even though it's the internet, come correct. Danny, number love. If we was in person, I would pound you up, just like that. That's all it is. So I'll see you guys. I had explained it to the people that jumped in. You might see it on the replay. Shout out to the replay crew. I'm like, dang, what's up with Jay? Not normally like that. But again, real men, we pound it up. This will be our pound up right here. Put my big ring forward, because that's what I used to throw them hands with. So I'll pound you up, Danny. It's all love. We pound each other up. I see you in the comments all over again. You one of the first people I didn't boot out because you didn't really do nothing wrong. You just was talking crazy at the beginning. But again, we're not on the phone, so you can't really defend yourself. But just keep it civil. And to the people who was a little annoyed by me tapering off, my apologies. Me and Danny, we good. We going to pound it up. And I'm going to go to my appointment. And Danny going to go back and watch some more of my videos. And give me a thumbs up. It's your man, Jay. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Let me fix this real quick. I got to get on the highway. Yeah. We pound each other up. We have to have difference of opinions. If we don't, something's wrong. It's like a bone is nothing until two dogs grab the other sides of it, right? That's the way it has to be. It's your man Jay. I am out of here, man.